Welcome to episode 2 of Sundays with Dr. Shippy. I've got some great information to share with you today, and I hope it really helps you to launch into 2018 feeling like you're really going to make a difference in your health this year. The first thing I want to share with you is a study that came out on Roundup, or it's also known as glyphosate. It's the most common weed killer and pesticide that's added to our food. We've known, because of the World Health Organization coming out with a statement in 2015, that it's a probable human carcinogen. So of course we don't want to be putting things into our body that can be causing cancer, but this study that came out is even more concerning. It turns out that glyphosate and probably the other chemicals that are along with it increase antibiotic resistance. So that means that antibiotics are going to be less likely to work on infections. This is a really important health issue that's going to be looming for us. You know, we see more and more antibiotic resistance organisms and antibiotics not working. So we really don't want to be helping the organisms mutate and have this happen. So please start eating organic as much as possible. And if you've been using Roundup on your yard, stop and dispose of it very carefully. Find other ways to get rid of the weeds. The next thing is a study on sugary beverages. I think we're so used to seeing them in our cultures that we don't even think about them. But this study that came out from the European Association on Obesity took 30 studies that were done over the last 2 years, or between 2013 and 2015, that were done all around the world, and showed when they took out all the other factors that could be causing people to gain weight, that sugary beverages had a huge impact. How do we handle this as a culture? So the World Health Organization is actually recommending things like taxing beverages and that have sugar in them, and also foods, and try to get the food industry to start making changes so that they're not adding so much sugar. But then from an individual responsibility standpoint, we can all make those choices. So the obvious things like soda, but then even things like Gatorade and vitamin waters, sometimes the protein powders that you think are actually like helping you and helping you to work out and be stronger, those have a lot of hidden sugars. And then there's the tea and coffee that people a lot of times will add sugar to. So one of the things that I want to suggest to you is that as you're starting 2018, that you really try to get all that added sugar out. It'll dramatically reduce your risk for developing some of these diseases associated with gaining weight. And the trajectory that the U.S. is on is really concerning. Right now, already 30% of our population has obesity, but they're projecting that it's going to be up to 50% in 2030. So we've got to start rallying and making awareness and finding other ways to enjoy what we're eating and drinking without adding the sugar. So today I've been focusing on some bad news, but I also want to include a fun study that it's really some good news for those of us that love cinnamon. When I did my research for today, I found over 10 studies in the last 2 months on cinnamon. And I want to share those with you. So one was they took patients with PCOS, which is polycystic ovary disease, and those patients have insulin resistance. And they saw in a 12-week period of using 1.5 grams of cinnamon a day, they dramatically lowered their insulin resistance. Their blood sugar was managed better, and their LDLs even went down. Then there was another study that showed that cinnamon helps our bones to work better, so we have less bone loss. And then the third study was it's a mild antimicrobial, so it also helps our immune system. So what I recommend is that you put cinnamon into as many things as you can. I love putting it in my tea each morning so I don't need any sweetener. And I love putting it into things like butternut squash soup and put it on sweet potatoes and those kinds of things that the flavors are really yummy. And then just notice the smells. I think cinnamon smells so amazing. So to just recap, today's studies, I want to recommend that you eat organic as much as possible. Number 2, get the sugar out this year, and encourage those you love to do that as well. And number 3, use organic cinnamon in as much of your beverage and cooking that you can. I want to wish you a great start to 2018 and vibrant health in 2018. Thanks for joining us.